She wants to do her photography and videography for a living. So the first question I asked her was, how much do you love doing this? How much do you love picking up that camera and taking pictures? How much do you love picking up that camera and doing video? She goes, I really love it. I really love it. I said, well, what is it that you're prepared to do to make a living at doing this? So my question to everybody here, who wants to make a living at doing photography? Who wants to really, really do this? So my question to you then is, how much do you love it? How much do you really, really, really love picking up that camera, taking pictures of whatever makes your heart sing? Because that's the thing to focus on. The thing to focus on is, how much do I love doing this? So my journey began, let's say, all the way back to the late 80s. And I went back to Parsons in New York City to study photography. I was so fortunate to meet a guy, Mario Cabrera, who I studied with for 2 years. And the reason why I asked that question is because he always asked me that question every single day. Hey, Fasano, how much do you love doing this? Hey, Fasano, how much do you love doing this? And it really made me think, how much do I love doing this? And he was amazing for the 2 years that I worked with him, telling me not only about, teaching me the craft of it, but also teaching me what you need to do if you want to do this and make cash money at it. And he taught me everything I needed to know to get to that place. But the thing about it is, and I was working a 9-to-5 job in New York City in the corporate world, the World Trade Center at the time, when I went back to school. And I did that for 18 years. And I quit that job at 40 to create a whole life of photography, as a photographer. So that's the way to look at it. It's about it being your life. Anybody who's been successful as an artist, as a photographer, it's an all-encompassing thing within you, because it's a passion that you have, that it's not even about a job, it's not about what I need to do. It consumes you to the point that it's the only thing that you really want to do. And then one night I realized how unhappy I was. The reason why I'm telling you guys the story, so you don't have to do this. So you don't have to wait till you're 40 to, boom, the lights go on and you get it. So it took me quite a while to get there, but I realized that the life that I was living, it wasn't making my heart sing. And I had this passion of photography that one night it hit me. This is what I want to do. It's not what I want to do as making a living. It's not what I want to do as my job. It's the life that I want. Every artist that I know who has become quote unquote successful at what they do, it's what they do. Songwriters are doing this. Actors. I've worked with so many wonderful actors in my life. You know who James Earl Jones is, the voice of Darth Vader. I think he's up there somewhere. There he is, over on the corner. So I was working on Broadway show in New York City in 2008, Cat on Hot Tin Roof on Broadway. One of the things that I did was every person, pretty much that you see, who you see up here, when I first started doing this, I would ask them, how did you get here? How did you get to where you are in your career? And everybody, the same answer was, what else would I be doing with my life? What else would I be doing with my life? This is my life. When I asked James Earl Jones that question, he said, I don't know of anything else that I would be doing or love anything more than I'm doing other than my wife and kids. I loved Broadway. And I used to walk through Times Square. And you guys are familiar with Times Square. One day in 1999, when I quit my job to do this, I looked up and I said to my friend Maria, who was my makeup artist at the time, I said, one of these days, one of my photos is going to be on a billboard in Times Square. You know, we didn't have websites in 2000. So I had 5 different portfolios. So I went up and dropped my portfolio off. And which is what you do. You'd go out and just drop books off all the time. And always know that 9 out of 10 times, you're not going to get the gig. 9 out of 10 times, you're not going to get the gig. But it only takes that one time to get the gig that will shift things in your life. And then I went in and got call back from 5 different people. You come pick up your book, and that one person at Gotham Magazine, because they were a new magazine, said, "Hey, I'd like you to shoot for us." And I shot for them for 5 years in areas of this world that I never thought would ever be possible. I shot authors, interior designers, chefs, architects. It was one of the most amazing experiences in my life. And I told them, I want to shoot musicians and actors. She goes, no. You know how to do that. We want you to do this. So I followed that path. And then for 4 years after that, one of the editors wanted to start this section called Up and Coming Actors. My first photo shoot was Terrence Howard. Terrence Howard looked at my portfolio and said, "We need you in Hollywood. You captured my soul. That's what we need in Hollywood." And so he turned me on to all of these people in Hollywood, and that's how I got and started shooting all these people in Hollywood. That's how I met Taraji Henson and photographed her. It was through him because he saw what I was doing. He saw a photograph that I did of him that was not in the magazine that I loved, and he went, "Bro, we need you in Hollywood. You captured my soul." And nobody knew who Terrence Howard was at the time. He's my friend to this day. And that's how I got into Cat on a Hot Tin Roof on Broadway. It was from meeting him, photographing him, becoming friends. A couple of years later, he was my reference to get into Cat on a Hot Tin Roof on Broadway. Producer calls me, says, "Do you want to shoot my show?" And I went, "Yeah, what do you want me to do?" He goes, "I want you to document the entire making of this play on Broadway." It was an all African-American cast doing a Tennessee Williams play, which changed Broadway. It was unheard of, and it sold out every night. And I said, "Sure." Quoted him a price. He goes, "Fine." I get on Broadway, and I do everything. I did the ads and everything like that. And right before opening night, Steven calls me, the producer. He said, "Come down." So I came down to the theater, and he goes, "Wait." And he goes, "Look up." And there was my cast photo on the top, on the biggest billboard on Broadway. So the key, folks, in this is in your work, always remember that I subscribe to the fact that there is no competition out there. It's art. Your art is your self-expression. You are each unique individuals. So that is what you're bringing to the world and expressing to the world. There is nobody who shoots like you. There is nobody who sees like you. There's nobody who feels like you. So when you put all of that together, it brings your unique expression of what you're doing to the world that nobody else is doing.